All right, let's jump right in. Every single day, the stock market tells 1,000 different stories. Some are these incredible tales of massive wins, others are all about smart, strategic moves, and yeah, some are about companies facing some pretty serious struggles. We're here to cut through the noise and tell you the stories that really matter today. So, what's the big narrative from the last 24 hours? We're going to go way beyond just the numbers on a screen and get into the real drama, the real action that's driving these stocks. Okay, let's get into it.
Here is how we're going to break it all down. First up, the big earnings surprises that got everyone talking. Then, we'll look at some huge moves that had nothing to do with earnings. After that, we'll check in on some stocks that are feeling the pressure. And finally, we'll give you a sneak peek at the companies you'll want to watch tomorrow.
Okay, Chapter 1. Let's talk about the clear winners, the companies that stepped up to the plate this earnings season and just absolutely knocked it out of the park. And kicking things off is Hims&Hers Health. You know them, ticker HIMS. This telehealth company just dropped its Q3 results yesterday, and boy, did investors sit up and take notice. So just look at this. The strength here is pretty incredible across the board. Revenue exploded, up almost 50% from last year, hitting nearly $600 million. They also turned in a nice, solid profit of almost $16 million. But here's the real kicker for investors, that raised guidance. When a company raises its forecast for the whole year, that's management basically shouting from the rooftops that they are confident this growth is here to stay. That is a massive sign of strength. But Hims wasn't the only one making waves. Nope. FuboTV, the live streaming service, also came out with a report that had Wall Street absolutely buzzing. Okay, so what you're seeing here is what we call a beat on the top and bottom lines. They lost less money per share than the experts were afraid they would, and their revenue came in about $16 million higher than expected. I mean, that's a solid win, no question about it. But that wasn't even the biggest part of the story. Because right alongside these great numbers, Fubo just dropped an absolute bombshell, an announcement that could totally reshape the entire streaming world. That's right. Fubo is merging with Disney's Hulu plus Live TV. This is a monster of a strategic move. Instead of battling it out, they're joining forces to try and create an absolute powerhouse in live TV streaming. Honestly, this news was so big, it completely overshadowed their already awesome earnings report. Okay, so earnings are one thing, but not all the action comes from a quarterly report. Now we're going to look at the big deals, the juicy rumors, and the analyst calls that are also shaking things up. And this slide is a perfect example of the different kinds of info investors are juggling every day. Over on the left, you've got a hard fact. Starbucks made it official. They're starting a new joint venture in China. That's a huge deal. But on the right, you've got a persisting market rumor, a report that Netflix might be kicking the tires on buying Warner Bros. Discovery. See the difference? One's a done deal. The other is pure speculation for now, but you better believe both are moving their stocks. And then, of course, you have the analysts. Roku had its own fantastic earnings report a few days back, and it's still getting a ton of love from Wall Street. Pivotal Research just came out, stuck with its buy rating, and jacked up its price target to $135. This kind of follow-up can give a stock a whole second wind, long after the earnings call has ended. All right, but it can't all be sunshine and roses. To get the full picture, we have to look at the other side of the coin, the companies that are really up against it, facing some serious headwinds right now. And one of the clearest red flags you can see is when a stock hits its 52-week low. It's more than just a number. It's a huge psychological blow that tells you the negative feeling around a company is really, really strong. And yesterday, 3 well-known companies hit that unfortunate milestone. First, you've got Progressive, the insurance giant. It slid to a new low right before its earnings, a pretty clear sign of some serious anxiety. Then there's Deckers, the parent company of Uggy and Hoka. They hit a new low as part of a brutal 60% drop this year, making everyone wonder if their hot streak is finally over. And finally, Lazoy tumbled after a rough report, which is a worrying sign for the whole economy, really. It suggests people might be cutting back on those big purchases. All right, let's wrap this up by looking ahead, because the market story never really stops, does it? It just rolls right into the next day. So let's get you set up with the companies that are about to report earnings and could be tomorrow's big stories. So, on the watch list for today, after the closing bell, we've got the telehealth company American Well. Then tomorrow, November 5th, it's going to be a busy one, we get results from Duolingo, the language app, and get this, analysts are looking for a massive 47% jump in earnings per share. We're also going to hear from Celsius, the energy drink maker, and the coffee chain Dutch Bros. It's shaping up to be a huge day for consumer brands. And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? We've seen incredible earnings, a blockbuster merger, smart strategic plays, and some serious market pressure, all in one day. So which one of these stories is going to have legs? Will the good vibes from Hims and Fubo spread? Or are the problems hitting stocks like Deckers and Lazy Boy a warning sign of what's to come? The market is just one continuous story. And tomorrow, well, that's just the next chapter. Thanks for tuning in.